Today, we're going to read about the bucket filler, okay? So, what is a bucket filler? Who could tell me what a bucket filler is? Go ahead, Dominic. What's a bucket filler?
That you fill up a bucket.
And what do you fill it up with?
Water.
Okay, what else? What can be a bucket filler?
That you can fill it up with kind stuff.
You can fill it up with kind stuff. That's a good idea, too. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to read a story called The Bucket Filler, okay? Here's the difference between a bucket filler and a bucket dumper, okay? Every single one of us has a little bucket, and it's imaginary. Pretend like you have a little cup that's on your shoulder, okay? Or it's on your brain, whichever way you want to look at it, okay? Every time somebody says something kind to you, like, you're doing a great job, or you look beautiful today, or somebody just opens the door for you because your hands are full and somebody holds the door for you. Those are things that fill your bucket full of sweetness, okay? Sweet kindness, okay? If you're holding a lot of books and you're going to walk in the door and somebody doesn't even hold it for you and just slams it in your face, what do you think that is? Is it a filler or a dumper?
Dumper.
Dumper, okay? Say, oh, somebody holds the door for you, bucket filler, right? Okay, so bucket filler is some kindness. Bucket dumper is somebody not being that kind. Somebody being mean or maybe not helpful or kind of just taking care of themselves and nobody else, okay? So we're going to read about how full is your bucket, okay? So we're going to read this story. So when I'm reading this story, there's going to be two things you need to look for. Is the character being a bucket filler or are they being a bucket dumper? Okay? So when you hear it, I want you to say, oh, I want you to raise your hand, and then I want you to tell me if you hear a bucket filler or a bucket dumper. And if you hear a bucket filler, what I want you to do is put some sweetness into the bucket. Okay? If you hear a bucket dumper, something negative, then you got it, Dominic. Okay? Sound good? All right. Anybody have any questions? What's your question?
How long will the story take?
I don't know.
Bucket filler and bucket dumper.
Dumper.
I can't believe I just read that.
That's right. Okay? So our goal is, are you a bucket filler or are you a bucket dumper?
I'm a bucket filler.
Do you have a negative thought or do you have kind thoughts? Okay? Some people just have the negative thoughts and that's okay, but we got to fix that, right? We can't always be stuck like that. All right, let's go. How full is your bucket? Mommy was getting caught up in her words. Okay. All right. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. I want to build with you, she said. Felix scowled and said, go away. You're too little. Okay? What do you think?
He's a dumper.
He's a dumper, right? We don't actually know what we should do. We should fill up this candy. Let me get you another cup. Hang on.
For me. For me, too. That's yours. Never mind.
Nope, it's okay. Sometimes we always want to start our day off being a bucket filler, right? And hopefully we end our day like that.
I heard a bucket dumper.
All right, ready? Okay, so what did you hear Felix do? Bucket filler or bucket dumper?
Bucket dumper.
Bucket dumper. Why?
Because his little sister asked him if she can build with him, and he said, go away.
Yeah, not very nice, right? Wasn't very friendly. Okay. So, I'm big, she says. Stay back. You'll knock it over. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Anna. Bucket dumper, right? Bucket dumper. Grandpa! Grandpa shook his head. Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes. Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there was a small gray bucket floating above his head.
Filler.
Do you think it's for there or is it in his brain? He's pretending, right? But that's okay because everybody has it.
But that's
When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. I got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still. Felix slipped and cocoa wheat scattered across the floor. Felix, yelled Mom, you should have used the stool to reach that. Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drips filled out. What do you think?
dumper.
Dumper, right? Why do you think it's a dumper?
Because he spilled all the cereal.
Right, but it's not that he filled the cereal. How did the mom react? What did she do?
She was angry.
She was angry, right? She wasn't directly saying, you're terrible, but she was yelling, right? She was yelling at somebody. Okay? Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drips spilled out. Drip, drip! Ha ha! Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip! Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, growled Mom. With the school was honking, Felix quickly swept up the cocoa wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip! Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Drip! Do you think that's being a bucket filler or a bucket dumper?
Bucket dumper.
Why? What's that kid on the bus doing to that kid?
Being mean.
He's being mean. He's teasing him, right? Drip! Psst! Felix! Psst! Watch out! Shrimp! Drip! Dumper or filler?
Dumper.
Got it.
Look at
It was still morning, and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Is he feeling bad or is he feeling great?
Bad.
Yeah, he's having a bad day, huh?
I think that's a dumper.
He is feeling pretty dumpy. Okay. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. But Miss Bumblenickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. She writes, Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with your class? Bucket filler or bucket dumper?
Bucket filler.
Because she gave her a compliment, right? Okay. Felix grinned and felt a big drop and right into his bucket. Drop, drop, plop, plop. The Ginororus was wanted a pet by me, Felix. The class grew quiet. What do you think that means? Was the class loud or quiet?
Quiet.
Yep. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped. Even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of dropped lands in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all.
Bucket filler.
Bucket filler. Got it.
Filler.
Drop. That means he's having positive thoughts, right? He's like, hey, this isn't so bad. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. If you get picked as a captain in gym class, how do you feel?
Happy.
Happy. Why? What would that mean? If you were picked to be a captain, what would that mean? You got to pick people in gym class to be on your team. That means you are the captain, which means you're the leader. So do you think that your gym teacher trusts you? Yeah, right? He trusts you.
That's a great.
You're right, Dom. That is a bucket filler. No, drop. Good try, though. Nice cat. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix.
Bucket filler.
You got it, bucket filler.
Oh, I only got one more.
That's okay, I'll give you more. Bucket filler, okay. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. What do you notice about this picture?
They all have buckets.
They all have imaginary buckets, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some are filled.
So, yeah, some of them are filled. And some of them are halfway, some of them are little. But look at this one. Okay, so this one's having negative thoughts, right?
What's a drop?
Yeah, that one's pretty full, right?
Drop.
Okay,
Felix is so full.
he dropped his papers. Let me help you. Filler or dumper?
Filler. Ow.
Here's your baseball catch. Here's your baseball catch. Thanks, dude. Filler or dumper?
Filler.
Because he's being kind, right?
But where are we?
Hi, I'm Felix. I'm Felix. First day? Yes, I'm Amir. So it's this dude's first day at school. How do you think he feels on his first day of school? Scared, right? And Felix comes over to him and goes, "Hey, is today your first day? I'm Felix." Do you think that's filling his bucket?
Yeah.
Sure is.
Look at his bucket.
Yeah.
He's starting.
When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he also scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your dog will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her. Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" Is he filling her bucket?
Yeah.
He's trying, isn't he? And so they did.
Filler.
Right?
So
Here's the lesson, though. In the beginning of the day at school, his bucket was pretty empty, right? He was feeling pretty grouchy, and he's like, "Oh, poor me. Everything's going wrong. My day's terrible. I just want to go home." But in the middle of the day, your mind can change. Your mind can get better, and your mind can be like, "Okay, things aren't so bad," and you are having positive thoughts, and people can be kind, and they fill your bucket up. Okay? So what do you guys want to be, a bucket filler or a bucket dumper?
bucket filler.
Bucket filler. Does that mean you use kind words, or does that mean you
Kind.
Yeah. Are you
Kind.
helpful?
Yes.
What else are you? You're helpful, you're kind,
You hold doors for him?
you hold doors for people. What else could you do?
Your hair looks beautiful.
You can make compliments. Your hair looks beautiful. Okay? So, bucket filler. Are you a bucket filler or are you a bucket dumper? What I want you guys to do is every time you see something or hear somebody say, you can remind those people of their little tiny little cups on their shoulder, saying, "Are you filling my bucket?" Or, "You know what? You're a bucket dumper." Okay? It's a great way. It's a great way to have a positive mindset, right? Your brain can think positively. Okay? And if you do make a mistake and you are kind of grouchy or mean, because we can be kind of grumpy, right? What could you do to that person to make their bucket fill back up? If you were mean to them, what can you do?
You can fill their bucket back. You can
By saying what?
by saying sorry.
By saying sorry, right? Or give them a hug, or say, "You know what? I was wrong. I'm so sorry." Sometimes mommy gets grouchy and I say, "Oh my God, I overreacted." Right? And I got grouchy. All right. Thank you.
Goodbye, Miss Kelly.